It's like a Cinderella story. Went from the bottom and now he's at the top.
I tried to be the sobriety checkpoint and the nurse and the mom and the lawyer.
And so when I started to think he's doing drugs, he's smoking weed, we started talking to him and saying, you know, this can lead to other things.
My knee looks like a softball, black and blue. Lots of fluid in there. Went to the doctors, had a bone contusion. Everything was just tweaked. And they gave me painkillers. And from right there on, I was done.
He'd always be making me laugh, and I'd make him laugh, and I knew he was high, and I don't know. It was just bad, but I felt like he was gonna go, and I had to cherish my time with him if he was high or not.
I was an animal. Angry, yelled, scared him. Put fear in my mom and my brother.
A police officer calling me, and I stepped out of a patient's house and he goes, I'm at your house, and you know, I'm knocking on your door, and I'm thinking, oh my God, Ethan's died. I thought they were trying to get in touch with me because something had happened to him.
I had an idea. I had an idea of where he could go, because I had a good friend that went down there and never came home.
You don't want your kids to be a drug addict. This was nothing that I ever thought was going to touch our lives.
We had put him in rehab, a Pathways here, which was not effective. And we knew that we had to find something. So both his mother and I had started to research online where places we could take him. And I found this place in Utah.
I believe that my mom had stepped in at the appropriate time to send me away to rehab. If I would have had one more day like I had that Friday, there's a pretty good chance I wouldn't be alive. My family would be visiting me in a grave.
He was really sick cultured in the house because we didn't want him to kill himself before we put him on that plane.
I just remember talking to this little Asian chick that was going she was going to University of Las Vegas, and I was talking to her, and we had a connecting flight or something. I don't know. I can't remember what happened on the plane, but I remember talking to her, and she was like, yeah, like, why don't you come to Las Vegas with me? Like, where are you traveling? Like, I'm going to Utah. And she was like, oh, like, what are you doing out there? And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, I need to come up with a cool story, you know? But I just looked at her and stared at her and just started drooling, and she looked at me and was like, what is wrong with you? And that's where I knew that I was a full-on addict.
He called me actually when he landed in Utah and said, what the hell have you done to me, Mom? There's nobody here, because they were supposed to pick him up at the airport. And PTR, you know, we called on the other line, and I said, just stay on the line with us, and you know, I love you, and you're gonna be okay. And he really didn't think, I don't think, about sobriety at that point. It was just an out, because he was running into legal troubles, and he knew that he had exhausted everything here, and I knew that he had a plan to kill himself. even maybe he didn't have like a note, but he had the path and was headed for it. And I remember him talking to me and saying, well, I love you, Mama. And the guys that walked up and said, we have him. We've got him. And that was it for 3 months.
Detoxing. I started pooping my bed, vomiting, shakes, cold, hot, sweating but being freezing, just wanting to die right there in that bed. Detoxing went on for a while, good 3 weeks. Went out to the desert. I did a wilderness rehab, or, backpacking through the Utah desert. We were in the San Rafael Swell. I was in no mood to talk, in no mood to socialize with everybody. There was bitching and arguing going on, and I just steered clear of it. And when I'd have to get pushed into it, I'd just tell them, this is stupid, I don't want to deal with any of this, you guys can figure out your own bullshit, leave me alone, I'm going to be in my tent. That's where I was. That was the beginning of me going to the desert. Didn't care about anything. I was figuring a way to get out of there quicker. I was thinking if I fake an injury, maybe I can go back to the Valley site and then get shipped back home. Or maybe if I just smash my ankle with a rock, I'll be sent to the hospital where I can get more painkillers. As an addict mind works, there's anything that we'll do to get our drugs. Since I got sober, I've been real spiritual and believe in God. And at first my belief of God was, please get me out of this tight situation, and I'll pray to you more and I'll do more for you. That was the only prayer I gave. And I was out in the desert, and it was, we do solos out there. You do a 24, 48, and a 72-hour solo. I was out there, no food, and I thought I was a hard ass, so I went for 48. Didn't drink any water for a good 24 hours. And then I just got real sick. Woke up the next morning, like pissing out of my asshole, stomach hurt, real weak. The opiates had stripped me of any muscle that I had. I was in the middle of a desert. People in my family wouldn't talk to me. I was a drug addict, and I had no direction. Didn't have any goals. That's where it all turned for me. It's right there, sitting next to that fire, looking at the pyramid under my juniper tree with my tent to the right. I remember sitting there, and I just got this feeling. I just started crying. And right there, I started praying. I prayed to God. I prayed for help and patience and some sort of relief. I asked God if he could just show himself, just a little sign. Just a little something that he was there. And all of a sudden there was these 3 birds. And they came right into my juniper tree, and they started singing. And they'd sat there for a second. I still had my eyes closed. And I couldn't tell if it was God sending me or it was just a coincidence, but there was a feeling that I had that was just pure, that was real, that I actually felt. And I couldn't feel anything before. I couldn't feel emotions. I was emotionally bankrupt. But it made me feel like there was something inside me, that there was something warm. Something that was real. I hadn't felt that in years. And I carry that with me, and there's not many people I tell this experience to.
Ethan after rehab is a better guy, a better person, a better soul, and just all around a better brother.
That's what Utah did. It got him sober and got him some clarity on what had happened over the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, the Foundation House is actually an extended care, sober living, and a normal sober living environment would just be a house where the general purpose is that guys are there getting sober.
You don't rest on just
the
9 to 5 sober house where we cash a check and fill a bed and then go off and do something else with our day. It's just one literally big happy family. It's a culture of recovery that we hold a very high bar up to. And for each guy. Each guy has the option of getting it or going to wherever they might need to go, but not putting in the effort, not being committed, not being motivated towards that goal is not an option here.
What makes us different is the culture. That's it. Because you tell me any place in the country, and I guarantee you I could fill in what they're doing. I could put it here. Activities, and yeah, we do have acupuncture, yoga, gym, Rockwell Gym, Wilderness, art, music.
We did have a young man from Bangladesh dog
sledding. I just sent his Bangladeshi grandfather a picture of his grandson dog sledding on a frozen lake in northern
with a young man who's got Honduran ancestry and a gay gentleman from Connecticut and a surfer from San Diego.
Yeah, all together
dog sledding on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
So for the first time in the history of this planet, Foundation House was able to feature a young Bangladeshi, a young Honduran, a 40-something-year-old homosexual from Connecticut, and a surfer from San Diego, all dog sledding on the same lake at the same time. Yeah. It was literally a first on this planet. That's never happened before. If it has, I'd like someone to come forth. Please, out yourself, find me, Patrick B., the owner of Foundation House, and please explain how you were able to put that together too, because I'd like to see that model. Otherwise, that's how we're different.
Portland, Maine. Foundation House.
Scared.
Yeah.
Shy, nervous, lacking in confidence.
Very nervous, full of anxiety, worried about how people are seeing him.
3 or 4 errors a game.
Yeah, how he fits in the group.
Freaked me out. I drafted him, actually. I drafted him out of Utah.
He thought it was another bust at first.
Yeah, I was nervous.
It turned out to be unbelievable once he got in his groove.
Yeah. Yep. Scary. 2 with the glove and at least 1 with the hand.
Yeah, he started to produce in softball, so we let him stay. We were going to transition him.
Ethan quickly became one of the most mature guys, if not the most mature guy in the house. His maturity all of a sudden started to flourish.
Yeah.
I referred to him as a lioness. It's always the lion out there making all the, his friend John D., which I'm going to put on the film here. It's he's going to enjoy this, I hope. Hope John gets to see this. He's the hyena in the woods with the blood on his face. Well, Ethan was the quiet, composed lioness out in the sunny field. And ultimately, all the young cubs are attracted to that. They're afraid of going with the hyenas into the darkness. The hyena might not be afraid, but all the other cubs are. So we've got a lot of young cubs coming in just like Ethan did. So thankfully with Ethan's presence, he was the lioness and the son that they all gravitated to. Now it just so happens that his roommate was John D.
Yeah.
And it made for a great pair because these young guys would come in and they would feel pretty darn protected at the front door when there's a lioness and a hyena saying, "We got your back."
I'm Jonathan Dupree. I'm Ethan Bilderback's roommate. That guy right there. Yeah, chop. My good friend. We shared a room at Foundation House for around 9 months. I like Ethan's long legs, but besides his long legs and his attractive face and his great ass, I have to say, how Ethan's always willing to listen to you, even though you might be busy or whatever. He always likes to take care of people.
Pearly whites make smiles at me. Gets me going, but besides that, what I got from John from being his roommate and sleeping 2 feet away from him for 9 months was how to voice how I feel. At first I was kind of iffy, but then I met John, who was like, yeah, fuck you, fuck this, you suck, this, that. Give me your bagel. I saw that, and then he'd be serious at times too, and I'd see that and be like, oh man, I want to be like him. And that's where I learned to voice all my opinions and not really care what anybody thinks. The weird thing is like, John's like a hardcore Marine, okay? Like a hardcore, I'm coming for your jugular Marine, alright? And me, I'm just this surfer guy, calm, mellow, relaxed. Can be an a-hole sometimes, but where we both meet is, it's like what we got compared to by Patrick and Kirk, like calm and relaxed and full ready to go. You know, and when we come together, it's just, we can both talk, we both have our own feedback, and we see it in a different way, but our meaning and our feelings are like the same.
We grow off each other. It's not, when I first met Ethan and started talking to him, I was like, this kid's awesome. I remember when I first came up to the football field, or softball field, I was like, this kid's an athlete, you know? And I was like, I want to meet this kid. And right when we started talking, we got it off. And second week, we were setting goals about moving into the room that we're in, moving out, getting a place together, going to the beach and surfing. And we set these goals. And you know, in AA, they're like, one day at a time. And we're like, okay, you know, it was very tough. We helped each other out. We thought one day at a time. But behind doors, we're like, screw this. We're setting goals and we're going to reach these goals together. And it's like, I remember just like these stages we hit. I remember when I could, you know, I was waking up in the middle of the night and I was having nightmares and stuff, and Ethan was like, wake me up. If you're struggling, wake me up in the middle of the night, I don't care. And a couple times I'd wake him up, I'm like, I'm getting those nightmares, I'm getting those same feelings. He's like, alright man, he's like, alright, you gotta pray or do this. And I never had that before. And, you know, I'm 23, it's not a huge difference, but if you think about it, like, 23 is a difference, you know. When I was 20 years old, I was in the college scene. I was doing the, you know, hanging out with college girls. I was doing the whole party scene, the drug scene. I was doing all that. That was the peak of my addiction. And he's 20 years old. He's opening his own restaurant. I'm working for him, you know. And sometimes I hear him saying things like, "Oh, you know, I'm 20 years old. I feel like I'm missing something." I'm like, "You're getting a head start, man. You're 20 years old. You're starting your own restaurant. I'm working for you. I'm 23 years old." And I have no problem working with that because you earned it. You worked your ass off for that position.
His friend up there and father came to Ethan and asked Ethan to join with them to open up a restaurant. And so that's what he's doing now. He went from the dishwasher to management of a restaurant in a year. Can't do better than that.
I see him being successful. He already is right now, and I
Yeah.
know it sounds like cliche or whatever, but I do see him being successful in the future. Just because he's
Deering
got,
Oaks Park,
Yeah.
Saturday. All right.
he's got ability and he's got talents, but I also see him moving towards helping other people, and as opposed to what he's doing now. And I know, you know, Ethan, I know you want to make some money and all that, but I see him helping other people. That's where his talents really lie. Like I said, he can see that you know, everybody's got their abilities, and when he's in a room full of people, and I kind of think I like to think that I have this ability too. I can see that guy in the corner that doesn't feel a part of and that needs some help,
Yep.
and needs the guy in the front of the room to show everybody else that, this guy's in too. You need to help him out, and he's got that ability. It's natural, and I think he could use that to, you know, in a professional career. So that's where I see him.
You had a good group. Your group, like, it seemed like at the Foundation House, I don't know, because, you know, I was only there just the one time, but you could kind of see, like, you and Sunshine and, you know, Ethan and John and Matt and John from York. I mean, there was, like, you could feel like there was a connection.
Right.
You know, and that...
I mean, I think it's because we're all interested in the same thing, like the same cause. Like, we weren't the same people, you know? Like, different personalities, but, like, we all had been through it. Well, I mean, not Nick Norris, but, like, most of us had been through it before and, like, knew what we wanted to accomplish there. And, like, I see a lot of kids come in now, and it's, like, their first time, and they're 18 years old, and, I mean, some of them, they're just not going to get it until, like, you know, they go through things and they figure it out for themselves, so.
I mean, we've got a good group of people here. Everyone feeds off each other.
Yeah.
I think we're really lucky.
I know. Ew, what is this?
Hoi!
Turn on the music.
It's on.
You guys don't get anything done ever, do you? You have swords? You have...
Time meatloaf, steaks, lots of steaks. Yeah, potatoes. I never dance. Gets my man meat up. Yeah, man meat. Okay, looks like, I never do that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't touch penises. I think we just jam it all together. Yeah, and, we don't. Throw some charcoal in there. We don't need that stuff. Yeah, it's just actually a waste of time. Yeah, we can do that real. Stop recording so we can look at the direction. We from the hood.
Stop making the weird faces. You can't.
Stop making weird faces, huh? Come on.
Chopping, bro. I've been chopping since chopping was chopping around. I've been hopping since hopping was topping. I've been topping the hopping Cliven. For the last Cliven dive, and I've been smacking the life. Freaking flagging. Just
Fair play.
You must wait
You
your
just got a
turn.
double kill.
Without drugs, he's a whole different person. And you can definitely see that from before and after.
He's happy now, so he's successful.
He does look amazing. And it's emotional because it's such a great place where he is right now. He has grown. He has grown so much. He's a man.
Like, I'm 20, I turned 21 May 9th, and you know, I'm probably going skydiving for my 21st birthday. How long have I been sober? 13, 14 months. 14 months sober. Feels awesome. I don't need anything else. Lazy boy, flat screens, family, friends. I may need a grocery card though, because I do go through food pretty quick. But I mean, I'm content where I am. 20 years old, opening a restaurant, a franchise restaurant. Did I think I could do that? Did I think that was possible for me a year ago? No. Did I have any clue I'd be sitting in Portland, Maine a year ago? No. Did I even have a clue of who I was a year ago? No. Do I have some sort of idea now? Yeah.